It has been revealed by Donald Trump's legal team that he will not be testifying in the upcoming unconstitutional Senate impeachment trial slated to start next week. We're going to talk about why that is the right move, even if many people, myself included, would love to see Donald Trump actually testify on the Senate floor. This is the correct legal move, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. I'm a lawyer and a legal and political commentator here on YouTube. If you like legal and political news, opinion, and analysis, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Okay, this is the right move. Now, let me preface this by saying I would love to see Donald Trump actually testify in his defense on his behalf at the upcoming Senate impeachment trial. I think it would be great. I think he could use the platform to talk about everything he wants to talk about with regards to the 2020 election, to lay out various things about it, and I think that would be swell. However, it is not the right legal move, and sometimes that is the key consideration here. So what do I mean by not the right legal move? Okay, this is impeachment. This is a political process, not a legal process, but legal principles still kind of apply in it to some degree. You can take these principles and really what informs them as a guide for how you should proceed. Since this is a political process and not a legal one, the same rules of criminal defense do not directly apply, but they are useful here. And the general sort of consensus around a criminal defendant is that they should not testify at their own trial on their own behalf. And the reason is because once they do, it complicates things for the defense because the prosecution gets to cross-examine the defendant. And once the prosecution gets to cross-examine the defendant, they can try and set up a legal maneuver to have the defendant say something against their own interests. Once the defendant has opened themselves up to cross-examination by testifying on their own behalf, there's nothing you can really do to stop this. It's a gamble. That's the same thing that's going on here. So the background to this story is that Jamie Raskin, who is the House impeachment manager, and you can think of Jamie Raskin as the prosecutor in this case. This is the person trying to convict Donald Trump. They filed their impeachment brief. That impeachment brief is long, something like 80 pages. Donald Trump's team has filed a response to it, and I did a video about that response, and the ultimate thrust of that response is that this overall process is unconstitutional. Now, there's a reason that they've gone with that route, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, but in that response that this was unconstitutional, they did mention that Donald Trump does believe that everything he has said about the 2020 election is ultimately true. And they've offered that up as his reasoning. Now, that's where Jamie Raskin said, hey, if you think it's true, we invite you to come sit down and testify in front of the Senate under oath and say what you want to say about it. That's a bad idea for Donald Trump because that is a setup for him to make a statement against his own interest. Now, importantly, that statement doesn't have to be true or false. However, if Congress can construe that statement as false, then they can construe Donald Trump as lying to Congress while under oath, and they can file an actual criminal process against him. And that is something that should be avoided, legally speaking. That is a problem. You don't want to have Donald Trump under federal charges for lying to Congress. And if you have any doubt about whether or not they would do that, look at how they have treated Donald Trump so far. Of course, that would be on the menu. That being said, they have stuck primarily with the unconstitutional approach to this, and that seems to be where they're going. They have said that Donald Trump will not be testifying in this unconstitutional proceeding. Now, why is the unconstitutional defense the better legal defense or the better defense from a legal standpoint? Other than the fact that the testimony is designed to entrap Donald Trump into saying something that they can construe as a lie and go ahead and bring a prosecution against him. Other than that fact, which is a big fact, the Republicans have already laid out that the unconstitutional defense is a winning defense for Donald Trump. And they did this the other day when Rand Paul held a procedural vote on the constitutionality of the upcoming Senate impeachment trial. Now, there are 50 Republicans in the Senate, and for the Democrats to actually convict Donald Trump of the impeachment, to basically say that he needs to be removed from office and potentially prevent him from holding office in the future, to get that conviction, they need approximately 17 Republicans to go ahead and switch side. I say approximately because it kind of depends. If some people don't show up for the impeachment that day, it could be a slightly different number. But basically, 17 Republicans need to switch sides and vote along with the Democrats to impeach Donald Trump. Like I said, there's 50 in the Senate. Right now, only 5 Republicans in the Senate believe that this is constitutional. The other 45 Republicans voted that this process was unconstitutional. That means that going with this argument is a winning argument, because if you just hammer on the unconstitutionality of it, presumably those 45 Republicans will maintain that it is unconstitutional and vote to clear Donald Trump of any wrongdoing on those grounds. Okay? It's a winning strategy. It's been laid out at the feet of Donald Trump's legal team by Republicans in the Senate. They've said, go with this path. This path is good and you have our support. To have something else happen, you would have to have an additional 12 Republicans change their mind about the constitutionality, and then you'd have to have all 17 of those Republicans go ahead and vote to impeach Donald Trump. This is a very high hurdle, but there's also a very real possibility that some Republicans who might be sitting on the fence in general would be angered by something Donald Trump would say in regards to the 2020 election, the propriety of it, and the Capitol riots, something many Republicans are trying to pretend never happened. They want to get past this issue as fast as possible because they are, in general, losing on that issue politically. The Democrats have been capitalizing on that riot because that's what Democrats have done forever, is capitalize on some sort of bad event. And they have been doing it very well since it happened and hammering the Republicans over it. They've been going after their money. They've been going after their seats. They've been going after their constituents. They've been really, really on point with this messaging in a coordinated effort. Republicans need to get away from this message, and the best way for them to do that is to tell Donald Trump, just give us the argument that this is unconstitutional so we can go with that. And that is the strategy that Trump's legal team right now appears to be taking. Of course, this could all change by the time the Senate actually convenes and here's the impeachment trial. It's also possible that Trump's lawyers will submit some sort of documents or will submit something that does say what Trump would want to say about the 2020 election. That remains to be seen. But ultimately, the idea of Trump sitting there and being submitted to questioning in front of the Senate doesn't appear to be happening right now. And again, ultimately, this is a good move for Donald Trump and probably the way things should go from a legal perspective. I hope you found this informative and helpful. I would love it if you drop a comment down in the comment section and tell me what you think about the video, about this subject, what you would want from Donald Trump. Do you want him to be quiet? Do you want him to talk? Let me know. I would love to hear it. We'll talk soon. Have a great day. Peace. Peace.